there's the lack of a buffer now between them and Manchester United, and by extension all the other teams behind them as well, because it's so tight, Didi. What's it down to? Why couldn't Liverpool break down Newcastle's defence? Because we've seen them unable to break down defences time and time again over the last 2.5 seasons.
Well, first of all, I think it's good for the league because it's very tight at the top, and I think it's we had a 2-horse race over the last 2 seasons, or well, for that matter, 1-horse race last season, and now we've got a 5 or 6-horse race. So I think it's very good for the league because it will stay tight. I think right till the end. I wouldn't rule out Spurs, United, City. We know how good they can be or how good they are. Why can't they break them down? Well, they have the chances, and on another day, they take 1 or 2, the game opens up and they win the game 2-0, and we say it was a workmanlike performance from a very good team or from a championship winning team. I think what the difference is from Liverpool this season to last season, I think that air of invincibility, I think they kind of lost it. I think when teams played Liverpool last season, I think when they did play them, they went into the game thinking, well, if we get beat 2 or 3 here, it's not the end of the world. We look to next Saturday. I think now when they enter the pitch against Liverpool, I think they go there with a belief, with the injuries Liverpool has got, and maybe with a little bit of fatigue they've got in the squad, they can get something out of the game. And we've seen that with West Brom a couple of days ago, and we've seen it tonight. Newcastle, everybody thought they're going to roll them over. But they stood up to Liverpool. Yes, they conceded a few chances, but we know that Liverpool will always create chances with the quality they've got going forward, and that invincibility they had last season, they certainly haven't got it now. And I think from a psychological point of view, it makes a huge difference when teams play Liverpool this season compared to last.
Danny, I'm looking at the bigger picture here, because even if we hark back to last season, Liverpool have now only won 4 of their last 14 Premier League away games. They've had some big results in that time, don't get me wrong. Beating Crystal Palace 7-0 at Selhurst Park is huge, but that's one game. If you want to win the Premier League title or retain it in the case of Liverpool, you have to be able to pick up more points away from Anfield.
Well, you only have to be able to pick up more points away from the other teams and how they're doing away from home. They've set unbelievably high standards in the last 2 seasons. Therefore, when they drop below those standards, we become a little bit critical. With the injuries they've got, I don't think a lot of people certainly didn't expect them to be sitting top of the table come the new year, and they are going to be. So from a positive point of view, I think Liverpool fans will be happy with that. I think the air of invincibility that you're talking about is probably down to Van Dijk missing that presence he's got on the pitch, keeps everything calm, he's passing from the back. And of course, I think even in the last 20 minutes when Thiago came on, there seemed to be a more measured approach from Liverpool. So there's positives to come in the new year in terms of players getting fit. But I think one of the things now for everybody else is to, what Didi said, is to go up against Liverpool and not have that fear factor when you play them. Because they have got frailties like every other team. And at the moment, they're not playing with the same sharpness and zip that they did last season. But we are talking about, we're comparing them to a level of performance we haven't seen in a long time in this country over the last 2 years. There was going to be a dip. You can't keep winning game after game after game. But they're still sitting top of the table. And Jurgen Klopp will watch that game back tomorrow or tonight, whenever he does, and he'll think, should have won. Chances were there. We talk about breaking teams down. They did break them down enough to win the game.
Well, it's interesting because I'm thinking back of his comments after the West Brom game as well, that he blamed themselves, the team, for not getting all 3 points against a Big Sam.